You know, it kinda sucks that Nintendo is gonna shut down the Nintendo eShop both on the Wii U and the 3DS. Not only does this hurt game preservation for many titles on both consoles, but also pretty much for any physical Wii U game that also has a digital version. I mean, after the Wii U shuts down, people are gonna skyrocket the price of these games and they're gonna be harder to find and harder to buy. Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the RoboChan Show, where we take the gaming news format that channels like Spawnwood or Arlo do, add a dash of animation and some cool editing on top to bring you your gaming news, leaks, and rumors in a fresh new way. If you're new here and want to be kept up on everything gaming, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoy the video and dislike if not. In this video, we are going to talk about some recent bad news that Nintendo has dropped on us about the Nintendo eShop, the pros and cons, and the overall reaction by some people. And we also have some pretty interesting Metroid Prime news that may get you excited for E3 2022, or just excited to see something from Metroid. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter handle is RoboRob93. So when it comes to preserving their own history, Nintendo is not the best at doing so in recent years. I think the Nintendo Switch Online service, while great in many ways, has huge flaws, and it's not even close to being the best route for Nintendo to take to put their classics on playable systems like the Nintendo Switch. In my opinion, if I had my way, I would personally just have the old-fashioned buy the title and just keep it on your system and play it anytime you want to, like we had on the Wii U and the 3DS. Now, a lot of people are coming at this from different perspectives. Some people have been collecting retro games for a while, some people just got into it, and some people like me who were gonna get into it now are just gated off in a couple months. I don't usually talk about my current financial situation, but I don't have a lot of money to spend extra money on games, and when I did have enough money, I was gonna go full in on retro gaming. In fact, I had a video planned to talk about the Pokewalker and why it should come back, and for that I needed to get a 3DS, I needed to get a Pokemon game, and I needed to buy a Pokewalker. So I pretty much got 6 months to do that until those prices of those games skyrocket. Now there is a lot of people saying that you have a whole year to buy these 3DS and Wii U games, but that isn't the case. It's a little bit more technical than that. This is what Nintendo said about the Nintendo eShop shutting down. As of May 23rd, 2022, it will no longer be possible to use your credit card to add funds to an account in the Nintendo eShop on the Wii U or the Nintendo 3DS family of systems. As of August 29th, 2022, it will no longer be possible to use a Nintendo eShop card to add funds to an account in the Nintendo eShop on Wii U or Nintendo 3DS family systems. However, it will still be possible to redeem download codes until March 23rd. Now this gives about 6 months until you'll no longer be able to purchase anything from the Wii U or the Nintendo 3DS eShop. Now personally, this really sucks because I was going to buy a Nintendo Wii U, I was going to buy a 3DS, I was going to buy all of these games, and yes, I was going to buy some of them digital because some of them are digital only, or it would just be easier. Now, it seems that there are a couple sides to this. Some fans just don't care at all. Some fans are pretty upset that all of these games won't be available anymore. The games that are digital only, the games that they have yet to discover, and the games that they have yet to have any sort of way to be purchased outside the eShop on the Wii U and 3DS after all of this goes down. And then there are the portion of fans who haven't really cared about these games, haven't cared about the eShop, haven't cared about the Wii U or the 3DS for a while, and are suddenly angry about it. The fake outrage, as some people are calling it. But for me, for someone who's gonna buy these consoles eventually once I had the money, it really sucks. I was actually really excited to make that Pokewalker video too. Now I know some people can relate to this. Back during the 3DS and Wii U days, I didn't have a lot of money to spend on games. Now I do have some money, and now I'm faced with the fact that I only have less than a year to scrounge up some money on the side and buy these two consoles and the games I want. And while that not may be a lot of money to some people, to other people like me, it is. Now, I guess you could say that it's good that Nintendo gave us at least 6 months, or 4 to 6 months technically, depending on how you buy your games. But after that, retro gaming on Nintendo systems is just gonna be hell, especially for physical games. Now people who say, oh, just buy Wind Waker HD on Nintendo Wii physical, you're gonna be paying more than $60 probably now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but on the eShop, it's only $20. A hell of a lot difference than what you're gonna be paying in the next 6 months. Now, I do think this goes deeper than just not being able to buy these games. Nintendo hasn't really given us a way to play these bigger titles. Games like the Metroid games, Metroid Prime games, Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, and so on are going to be physical only now. Like I said, eventually these physical copies will get harder and harder and harder to find. Prices will go up and up and up, and the only way to play these games are on special systems that hold these games or emulation. And the fact that these are going to be harder to find and the prices are going to be higher and higher, what do you think people are going to do? They're going to do do the illegal thing and just download the ROM. And I think this is what a lot of people are gonna do. They're gonna illegally emulate these games because Nintendo isn't providing a way to do this. Now I think there's one question you have to ask. Why would Nintendo do this at this time? Because E3 is in about 4 to 5 months. I'm wondering if Nintendo is gonna do something or announce something at E3 that is gonna make this a lot better, or at least a little bit better. Maybe they're gonna do a rework of the eShop, maybe they're gonna do an overhaul of the Nintendo Switch Online system and they're gonna add a whole bunch of games to it, who knows. But overall, this just sucks for me. Make sure you guys tell me in the comment section if it affects you, how it affects you, or maybe you just don't care, or maybe you do care. Tell me your thoughts. Anyways, moving on to some more fun topics, let's talk about Metroid Prime 4 or Metroid Prime 1, and I'll explain that soon. It seems that Retro Studios has updated their Twitter banner, and this has a lot of people freaking out big time. Now this seems like a small thing to some, but to me it's pretty big. This signals to me that we are going to see some Metroid Prime news at E3 2022. Now when I say E3 2022, because I have had some comments saying that E3 is not happening, I just mean the Nintendo Direct that's going to happen around E3, or the digital E3 I should say, because E3 is pretty much dead and it's going to be digital only. Now we know that Metroid Prime 4 has already been in development for at least 3 years since the restart, so that is plenty of time to show off something from this game. But we also know that Breath of the Wild 2 is also aiming for a release date of 2022. My question is, does this mean Nintendo is going to give both the Breath of the Wild 2 and Metroid Prime 4, or is something else Metroid related coming? Assuming this Twitter banner is something and it's not just something they decided to do randomly. First off, let's answer the first part of that question. What I think is going to happen is that we're going to get the Metroid Prime 4 trailer with some gameplay snippets. I think we're going to get a good idea of what direction this game is going for. Not exactly a huge blowout, but more of a tease like we got with the second trailer for Breath of the Wild 2. By the time E3 2022 rolls around, it's going to be in development for quite some time, so I would think they would have something to put together, even if it's just a CGI trailer without those gameplay snippets. With that being said, I don't think it's going to be a big focus. I think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be the big focus for E3 2022, and that's going to come in holiday season of 2022, which I am going to have a video on that whole topic, which you can click the top right corner of that video, which is going to release the next day after this. For now, I'll have some random video for you guys up there. Now, it is also rumored that Metroid Prime 1 is getting a remake or a remaster. I know there are conflicting reports right now. Though, if it is a remaster, I don't see exactly why they would give us a remaster. That's one out of the 3 games before Metroid Prime 4, and if it does connect to the past 3 games, which it's Metroid Prime 4, I would hope it is, and it's most likely aiming for 2023, a very, very late 2023 or 2024, I'd much prefer them to drop the Metroid Prime Trilogy remaster on the Switch instead of just one game remaster. This would be a great way to keep fans in the loop with Metroid Prime 4 and catch them up. Now I know this is an obvious thing, but I think it's really good to see something from Metroid. Anything. I mean, we haven't seen anything since, I think 2017? No, it wasn't 2017. I think it was 2018. Okay, so I just looked it up and it's 2017. That is crazy. That's when the Switch came out. 2017 is when the Switch came out. We haven't seen anything from this from the launch of the Switch. That's crazy. You Metroid... Wow, you Metroid fans are really, really patient. But anyways, overall, this is some interesting and fun news. Well, the Nintendo eShop stuff was bad, but it's overall good news for Metroid, bad news for the eShop. Make sure you guys tell me your thoughts on both topics in the comment section below. And if not, on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.